Hello, this is Richard Church. I'm a writer in El Paso, part of the El Paso Writers League, and I would like to read this short story. It's about a hospice nurse, and the name of the story is The Last Door. The Last Door. She had comforted and guided so many to this point, but never beyond it. Working in hospice gave Annika a sense of fulfillment, serenity, and courage that few other professions offered. Acquaintances asked her how she could bear working with the dying, sitting with them daily, listening to their memories, pains, and regrets. As a rookie nurse in her 30s, she had answered, "Only people with settled death issues should seek such an honor." She knew it sounded pretentious, and a few responded in kind, but mostly she received blank stares or involuntary shudders. To her, there was nothing spooky about death. In fact, she worked with her patients for weeks or months before they died. Once they passed, it took but a few minutes to pronounce them dead after checking their pulse and other signs of life. Even though some were afraid and lonely, weak and struggling, they were all people. People with histories and dreams that connected them with humanity. Some waited patiently for an end. Others refused to go without a fight. As an observer, she hoped the end of her own life, when it came, would be a victory, not a defeat, but rather than an explanation to those who couldn't understand it, she now answered, "It's not for everybody." To her, every patient possessed many treasures, the memories and philosophies they gathered traveling their unique path through space and time. Myriad clients shared their deepest understanding of life and what they believed would be their next destination. She contradicted no one. No one knew what lay beyond this last door. Years later, on her own deathbed, Annika recalled the many who shared their wisdom and experience with her before moving forward. Many confessed untold regrets, mean things said or done to people close to them, arguments, thefts, and adulteries. Actions not taken that could have changed or saved a life. Some burdens had been carried for decades. Lying on their deathbeds, people dropped their masks, finally ready to forgive themselves before moving on. Annika heard the nurse in the hallway and realized for the umpteenth time how fortunate she was to die at home. She thought about her husband, whom she had nursed and comforted through a month of illness before, as he put it, God's angels escorted him to glory. She looked around the room, made bright by open curtains and lacy shears. She noticed a little dust on the antique furniture. Her housekeeper would fix that. "Hey, Annika, how are you today?" Lindsay Makaguchi's exuberant manner was not a way to shield herself from the rigors and sadness of her occupation. A warm, compassionate, but ultimately pragmatic woman, she dealt with each patient intuitively. Her animated face could quickly turn from a smile to concern, and back again. Easy to talk to, they often spoke of past hospice experiences, new medical research, family, and more. Politics was left on the back burner. Dying people had better things to worry about. Annika told Lindsay that one of her clients predicted that when she crossed over, she'd be instantly greeted by the dogs and cat she cared for during her lifetime. Perhaps my mom and husband too, but the animals first. They run faster. Annika was grateful for each patient who shared their final experience with her. Maybe that numbed the sting of death a little, but there was more to it. Eyes closed, she pondered the words she once offered to the fearful, giving herself courage. Any pain was greatly relieved through drugs, and the pain management techniques she had also shared with others. The words and actions of those who faced their death with calmness, courage, or humor came to her now, encouraging her. Their faces flashed before her. They were beautiful. Annika became aware of her rapid breathing. She listened as Lindsay, sitting beside her, read poetry aloud from Annika's favorite book. Annika became aware of a loss of feelings in her wasted limbs. She opened her eyes, looked around the room, then focused on her nurse. "Thank you," Annika whispered. "Thank you," replied Lindsay. unheard. And that's my story.